Welcome to JR. We spent the week here with this Avalanche Ford F150 Tremor, or as my wife calls it, Trevor. This is a pretty cool truck because it's kind of like a baby Raptor in a lot of respects, and the Tremor package gets you a lot of cool stuff. Namely, we're going to talk first about the gold. There's gold everywhere. It's exclusive to the Trevor, and you get it in the grille here, right? You get it in your front, recovery hooks. In the back, no, not at all. But you also get, this is not gold, but it's got these little teeth, these little fangs, kind of like, because I didn't wear my retainer, so I've got them as well, you know, see? But I like this is my favorite bit here, because you get this nice little like air extractor thing. It also says Tremor right here. Very cool. I love the gold. Very, very nice. You do get this bed sticker, 5.5 foot bed. We'll talk about it later, but it's got dimension depending on how the light hits it. It's very nice. And then again, you've got Tremor on the tailgate here in a normal badge. What did I say before? No gold for your rear recovery hooks. But it's not just an appearance package. You also get a bunch of off-road kit. Namely, you get 4x4 as standard here. You get 33-inch general grabber all-terrain tires wrapped around an 18-inch wheel. These are excellent tires actually. They work very well. I had KO2s on my 4Runner. They were louder, they got worse fuel economy, and they weren't as good in the wet or the cold. But one of the big things that differentiates the Tremor from the Raptor is the suspension, specifically in the rear. The Raptor gets a 5-link suspension, whereas this still has leaf springs, and you can see them right in there. So you've got leaf springs there, and then I'll have you come follow me around the back, and we're going to get real low, because I'm going to show you that you actually do, on that side, have Tremor shock bodies. So you do get unique suspension for the truck. You've of course got skid plates, 4x4 as standard, you've got locking rear diff, and then on the interior, you've got things like your trail control, which is off-road kind of cruise control, very slow speed, so you can just worry about picking your line. You've got trail cameras in here. You've got trail turn assist, which we've seen in the Raptor and the Bronco, which will brake the inside wheel. I wouldn't use that a lot because, to be honest, it's very, very hard on your diff. So use that sparingly, but you've got a lot of great kit in here for off-roading in your Trevor.
And the second thing that we like, but it also is on our dislike list, is the engine. Now, we have the 5-liter V8 engine, the Coyote engine. This is also in the Mustang. Cool little bit here, if you forgot that it's a V8, it has it on the air intake right here. Now, this showed up on our likes because obviously a V8 sounds really good. Unfortunately, this one doesn't sound as good as the Raptor, but I do think if you put an exhaust on this, it would sound even better than the V6 EcoBoost that's in the Raptor. I'll demonstrate that, what it sounds like just stock now. And I'm going to talk about the third and fourth thing that we like. Now, the third thing is its towing and payload. Towing is 10,000 pounds, which is pretty good. We keep making comparisons to the Raptor, so I will just say that is more than the Raptor. And the payload is 1885. So, fairly respectable there. The fourth thing that we like, again, making another Raptor comparison, but I think that someone that's going to be purchasing this truck will do this comparison as well. It's actually 6 inches narrower than a Raptor. Now, we have that on the plus side because there might be people that live in states or do trailing or off-roading that you kind of require a more narrower car, and the Raptor just won't get it done. Here's your answer.
The Trevor.
The Trevor.
And the last thing that we like is the technology that you get in here. You've got loads of kit in here, from your trail control, you've got wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, you've got excellent 360 cameras. They're a little bit dull here, but you know, if you just up the brightness or whatever, you'll be fine. And then you've also got this here where you can see different stuff on the same screen, right? So you've got zone lighting, you go into your features, you've got Pro Power on board, so you can control up to 2,000 watts of power going out to your vehicle through either here or in the bed, which is super cool. So you can turn that off, back to features, and you've got trail turn assist we mentioned before. We talked about zone lighting, and this is really helpful if you're camping, off-roading. You can have that side of the truck on, that side, you can have all zones on. It's really quite nice. So you've got that, you've got a huge screen, very nice, very responsive, and then you've got a bunch of luxury features as well.
And another thing that we don't like is I don't know if it's this one in particular or if it's just the way that this gearbox is paired with the V8, but there's a lot of clunkiness in this transmission. We think it has to do with it trying to jump gears when you're accelerating or decelerating. And we think that might be causing kind of the clunkiness. But it definitely is not as smooth as the EcoBoost paired with the same transmission. So not exactly sure if it's the ratios or what exactly is, or maybe it's just the specific truck that we have. But there's definitely some clunkiness, especially going from like first to third gear when you're not accelerating that fast. And then just overall upshifts and downshifts, specifically when it needs to do multiple gears at once. It seems like it has a hard time kind of trying to understand which gear it should be in.
Another thing that I don't like is that I think just as spec, this is fairly expensive. As starting, it starts at about $61,000, which is a lot more to stomach, but as tested, this is about $74,000. So it's a huge jump in price, and the only real problem is the fact that you can go to the Ford website right now, spec out a Raptor almost identically to this, and you're paying less than $10,000 more for the Raptor. So you're within 4 figures of Raptor money, and then you're here with leaf springs. It doesn't look as cool, it's not nearly as exciting. So I would save up for longer. I've got a fly on my hat, and I would get the Raptor. And another thing that I don't love is the fact that, well, you've got the V8 here, and you have to really, really love V8 sounds to justify buying this engine, because the EcoBoost is a no-cost option, and the EcoBoost gets you 40 more horsepower, gets you 80 or 90 more pounds-foot of torque. I'm checking for flies, sorry. And then you also can tow almost 1,000 pounds more, and you're doing all of that while also getting better fuel economy. So you really have to love V8 sound to go with the Coyote here.
Wait, do I usually go down this one?
No, okay.
The North Lakeshore. So
make sure you hit this cyclist.
Oh fuck! I did not see this bitch.
That would have been a hate crime as well.
Yeah, fucking.
And she's a child.
Oh,
that would have been triple jeopardy. She's brown, a woman, and a child. You know how long you would have been locked up?
It's a long ass time.
Forever, mate. You're never getting out. I'll make sure of it. Like, yeah, I was in the car. He was like, watch this, I'm gonna peg this bitch. Fucking hell.
Okay.
Sometimes I like to leave you little Easter eggs for the editing.
I know, I
remember
appreciate
we were
that.
talking absolute rubbish about this girl getting fucking killed by a truck.
I usually laugh at those. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Ford Tremor pinned.
Revs right out in first.
Yeah, how do we feel about that?
I mean, it's got plenty of drama for me, honestly. Like, I love the V8 sound. It had enough power. It felt fast because the suspension is so wobbly.
Yeah.
Then I look down and I'm like, oh, we're going like 40.
Right.
So it's not super fast, but it's fast enough. It's the sound for me.
Yeah, I really do like the sound, especially at high RPMs. And I think that the 402A tech package on here is really nice. Not to say that you can't get that in other F-150s, but I do like how this one's equipped. I just don't like the price. So, I mean, let's kind of talk about it. I think we both agree, and it's probably pretty clear at this point that we would probably both recommend and do save up for a Raptor and just save your money.
Yeah, I'm kind of the opinion, like this kind of splits the difference personality-wise. Like, it gives you a lot of off-roading capability and a lot of features while still having leaf springs, so you have a little bit better payload, a little bit better towing. So like, I've seen, you know, they're doing a whole bunch of construction around my house, right? And there's a chap that's doing the construction around here that has one of these from last year. It's like in silver or something. And like, he's constantly parking kind of like how Jeep owners do, like just parking completely unnecessarily, like at an angle. But like, you kind of have to do that, or maybe you've got a job at a job site that's, you know, kind of off the trail or a little bit or something. So I'm trying to rationalize this trim, but at this price point with the high package on to get all this tech. You know, the Raptor comes with a lot of this stuff as standard. So again, it really starts to become an issue with me if you're going to get the 402 package, that you could just save up another 6 months, a year, whatever you need to do to get the Raptor, if that's what you really want.
Yeah.
But if you do need to work with the truck, is this the best option either?
I think the two like main benefits, and maybe the decision's made for you because of this, but like, it's 6 inches narrower, so it has more maneuverability than an F150 Raptor. So it's like, if that's kind of your play, that you do a lot of trailing and having a smaller truck is needed, then that also makes sense. And then
yeah, especially
also
around here.
the fact that, you know, prices right now for vehicles like this are just astronomical. So the markup on a Raptor is going to be exponentially higher than what it most likely would be on a Tremor. So maybe you can justify that, yeah, on paper the Raptor is only 7K more or 8K or whatever, but at the dealer it might actually be more like 15 or something based
Right.
on the markup.
Right, and I'm sure we're going to get a bunch of comments, people saying, stop talking about the Raptor, I'm not interested, that's why I've looked at the Trevor. So I think objectively, the thing that we'll talk about here behind the wheel is kind of like the ride and the experience behind the wheel. So it does feel, you know, you do have the V8 grunt and the muscle. It doesn't feel as sharp or athletic as, I'm going to say, the Raptor. And the ride is not as good as the 5-link suspension and the Fox shocks that you get from the Raptor, but you wouldn't expect it to be. I will still say, with this having leaf springs and the weird rake, it still rides pretty well, I would say. You know, like, for me, the ranking for truck rides goes Raptor with the Fox shocks, the Ram, you can get air suspension, and that's quite good. And then kind of this. I like the Tremor shocks. They've got a little bit more bounce, a little more cush. So I kind of like the ride here. I think it's pretty quiet. The steering is completely numb, but you know, I don't care because it's a F150. The visibility is quite good. You've got loads of tech. I quite like it.
Yeah, I like, price aside, I really do like it too.
Yeah, it really just is the price for me.
I like the spec, the color, the avalanche that we have here. The Tremor gold accents are really cool and unique. I think it's a brilliant truck. Yeah, and the 402 tech package that this thing has is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's at the end of the day, I mean, we can kind of try to ramble on and on and on, but at the end of the day, it's an F-150.
Yeah.
It's a brilliant package. It tows, it's got payload, you've got loads of cameras and the Pro Power onboard. Like, you've got loads of things. You've got the whole, like, fold-out center bin thing.
Yeah.
So you're not going to go wrong. It's just look at what you're getting for your money and how it's going to affect what you need from the truck. If you want just a through-and-through off-roader, save up and get the Raptor. If you need it to also tow and do payload and work things, maybe consider this. And I guess that's kind of my thoughts on it.
Yeah, and that's probably a good spot to end it.
Right. This is the best-selling thing in America on 4 wheels. And as tested, this thing is $75,000 fucking dollars. Well, it's like a Nissan thing where you have like 8-year loans.
You can take a car loan out for 12 years now or something like that.
Fucking stupid.
I think 5 years used to be the max.
This is why we're all poor.
Yeah, we're just bred to consume.
Stop buying Trevors.
Don't
do it.
Don't get me started on capitalism.
Damn, I won't, because we've been down this road, mate. We love tech and capitalism.
In the Trevor.
We're not about
In the Trevor.
In the Trevor.